Qibla direction toward Mecca, a place of prayer. The Qibla direction, also transliterated as Qibla, Qibleh, Kiblah, Qibla, Kiblah, is the direction that should be faced when a Muslim prays during Ṣalāʿ. It is fixed as the direction of the Kaaba in the Hejazi city of Mecca. Most mosques contain a wall niche that indicates the Qibla, which is known as a miḥrāb. Most multifaith prayer rooms will also contain a Qibla, although usually less standardized in appearance than one would find within a mosque. Muslims all praying towards the same point is traditionally considered to symbolize the unity of the Ummah, the community Muslims worldwide, under Sharia law of God. The Qibla also has importance beyond Salah and plays a part in various ceremonies. The head of an animal that is slaughtered using allowed methods is usually aligned with the Qibla. After death, Muslims are usually buried with the body at right angles to the Qibla and the face turned right towards the direction of the Qibla. Thus, archaeology can indicate an Islamic necropolis, if no other signs are present. History. According to the traditional Muslim view, the Qibla in the Islamic prophet Muhammad's time was originally the noble sanctuary in the Shami city of Jerusalem, similar to Judaism. This Qibla was used for over 13 years, from 610 CE until 623 CE. 17 months after Muhammad's 622 CE arrival in Medina, the date is given as the 11th of February 624, the Qibla became oriented towards the Kaaba in Mecca. According to traditional accounts from Muhammad's companions, the change happened very suddenly during the noon prayer in Medina, in a mosque now known as Masjid al-Qiblatain, Mosque of the Two Qiblahs. Muhammad was leading the prayer when he received revelations from God instructing him to take the Kaaba as the Qibla, literally, turn then thy face in the direction of the sacred mosque. According to the traditional accounts contained in the Hadith and Sirah, Muhammad, who had been facing Jerusalem, upon receiving this revelation, immediately turned around to face Mecca, and those praying behind him also did so. Some have claimed that the Quran does not identify or allude to Jerusalem as being the first Qibla, and that the practice of facing Jerusalem is only mentioned in traditional biographies of Muhammad, or hadith collections. There is also disagreement as to when the practice started and for how long it lasted. Some sources say the Jerusalem Qibla was used for a period of between 16 and 18 months. The Jewish custom of facing Jerusalem for prayer may have influenced the Muslim Qibla. Others surmise that the use of Jerusalem as the direction of prayer was to either induce the Jews of Medina to convert to Islam or to win over the hearts. When relations with the Jews soured, Muhammad changed the Qibla towards Mecca. Another reason given why the Qibla was changed is that Jews viewed the use of Jerusalem as signaling the Muslims' intention of joining the religion. It was changed to discredit this assumption. Others state that it was changed because Muhammad was angered by that city or its people, and not because of his conflict with the Jews. In medieval times, Muslims traveling abroad used an astrolabe to find the Qibla. Determinations. From whensoever thou startest forth, turn thy face in the direction of the sacred mosque. That is indeed the truth from the Lord. And Allah is not unmindful of what ye do. So from whensoever thou startest forth, turn thy face in the direction of the sacred mosque. And wheresoever ye are, turn your face thither. That there be no ground of dispute against you among the people, except those of them that are bent on wickedness. So fear them not, but fear me, and that I may complete my favors on you, and ye may consent to be guided. Quran, Surah 2 Al-Baqarah, Ayat 149-150. It is not righteousness that ye turn your faces towards east or west, but it is righteousness to believe in Allah and the Last Day, and the angels, and the Book, and the messengers, to spend of your substance out of love for him, for your kin, for orphans, for the needy, for the wayfarer, for those who ask, and for the ransom of slaves, to be steadfast in prayer, and practice regular charity, to fulfill the contracts which ye have made, and to be firm and patient, in pain or suffering and adversity, and throughout all periods of panic. Such are the people of truth, the Allah-fearing. Quran, Surah 2 Al-Baqarah, Ayah 177. The 2 moments in each year when the sun is directly overhead the Kaaba, the sun will indicate the direction of Mecca in all countries where it is visible. This happens on May 27 and May 28 at 9:18 GMT and on July 15 and July 16 at 9:27 GMT. Likewise, there are 2 moments in each year when the sun is directly over the antipodes of the Kaaba. This happens on January 12 and January 13 at 21:29 GMT and on November 28 at 21:09 GMT. On those dates, the direction of shadows in any sunlit place will point directly away from the Qibla, because the earth is almost a sphere. This is almost the same as saying that the Qibla from a place is the direction in which a bird would start flying in order to get to the Kaaba by the shortest possible way. The antipodes of the Kaaba is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, in remote southern French Polynesia, some 35 miles 56 kilometers northeast of Temutangi Atoll and 85 miles 137 kilometers west-north. Qibla direction toward Mecca, a place of prayer. The Qibla direction, also transliterated as Qibla, Qibleh, Kiblah, Qibla. In contrast to the regular custom, there is a mosque which does not face the Qibla. It is Charaman Juma Masjid in the South Indian state of Kerala. Unlike other mosques in the South Indian state, it faces eastwards, instead of westwards to Mecca. Islamic mathematics. Determining the direction of the Qibla was a central issue and a constant generator of a scientific environment during the Islamic Golden Age, one that required both mathematics and observation. Muslim scientists who contributed works to determine the Qibla direction from any point on the Earth's surface were Al-Khawarizmi, Habash al-Hasib al-Marwazi, al-Nayrizi, al-Batani, Abu al-Wafa, Buzjani, Ibn Yunus, al-Sijzi, Abu Nasr Mansur, Ibn al-Haytham, al-Baruni, Nazir al-Din al-Tuzi, Ibn al-Shatir, and al-Khalili, among others. The Yemeni Sultan al-Malik al-Ashraf described the use of the compass as a Qibla indicator in the 13th century. In a treatise about astrolabes and sundials, al-Ashraf includes several paragraphs on the construction of a compass bil-Tasa. He then uses the compass to determine the north point, the meridian Kat Nisf al-Nahar, and the Qibla. This is the first mention of a compass in a medieval Islamic scientific text and its earliest known use as a Qibla indicator. Although al-Ashraf did not claim to be the first to use it for this purpose. Inside a mosque, the Qibla is indicated by the location of the miḥrāb and the orientation of the prayer wall. The Qibla as determined at the time of construction is therefore reflected in the construction of the building. For this reason, and especially in the case of historical buildings, the mosque itself is sometimes said to have a Qibla direction, possibly different from the independently calculated direction from that of other nearby mosques.